Huawei's Y9 series gets a successor in the form of the Y9A. It's in the house for a while and we'll get into the minutest details of this phone today. Welcome to the Huawei Y9A review. If you are new on my channel, please subscribe and press the bell icon. If you find this video useful at some point, do hit the thumbs up button too. Y9A comes after the Y9S and there are some major changes on this device from its internals to the externals. First of all, let's get the specs out of the way. The main highlights of this phone are its Helio G80 chipset, a RAM of 8GB and a 64 megapixels main rear camera along with a 40 watt fast charger. Other specs are on your screen along with its price in different regions. The phone first of all gives you a very good feel. For its style, Huawei has followed the new trend of circular cameras. Its rear looks more like the Huawei's Mate 30. The camera bump at the back is protruding and that ring around the camera adds to its good looks. Placement for the LED flash, however, looks very odd to me. The curvy back rocks a plastic build. It doesn't feel cheap plastic, but I can tell you right now that it is going to pick up a lot of scratches. Plastic frame of this phone has the color matching with the phone's build. The top has the secondary noise cancellation mic, headphone jack and the front pop-up camera. Fingerprint scanner embedded in the power button along with the volume rocker sits on the right side of the frame, and at the bottom we get the SIM card slot, speaker and the USB Type-C port along with its primary mic. This is a dual SIM card slot and there is a sealant here to protect it from the water. This phone weighs at about 197 grams and it's heavier than Samsung's Galaxy A71. Y9A has the biggest display in the Y9 series so far. It's a 6.63 inches IPS LCD display as compared to the 6.59 inches screen of the Y9P. The screen to body ratio and the PPI is also better on the Y9A, however the resolution remains the same. Since this is an LCD display, my expectations were quite under control from this phone. When I test the mid-range or the low-end phones like the Y9A, my only concern is that the display doesn't feel oily or it doesn't make your fingers sweat. And thankfully that doesn't happen while playing the games on the screen of this phone. Pop-up camera leaves a lot of room for the display and watching videos or playing games on the screen is absolute fun. Huawei's displays are definitely much better as compared to the likes of Redmi, especially if we compare the Y9A screen to the Redmi Note 9. This screen is definitely better and to me it looks brighter as well. The viewing experience outdoors isn't going to be great, but as long as you are using the phone from a 90-degree angle, it is going to be all fine. The colors on the screen look fine, but I think it could be a bit more sharp. On the software end, we are getting the EMUI 10 running on the top of Android 10. Nothing new or different here, it's the same typical Huawei experience. The phone comes with an inbuilt screen recorder. The options to change the display colors also exist in the settings. Like Huawei's recent offerings, the Y9A also uses HMS and has the app gallery to install the apps. I have talked a lot about the app gallery already, so I'll keep it very short here. App gallery is far from becoming something even close to the Google Play Store. Although Huawei has put immense efforts to bring developers to its platform, the app gallery still misses the most important and the popular non-Google apps as well. For example, you won't find Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, PUBG Mobile or COD Mobile in the app gallery. To download all these, you have to download their APK files from their official websites or from some third-party websites. So yeah, the app gallery is not a complete solution yet. For security, Y9A's side-mounted fingerprint scanner works quite fast. There is no Face ID unlock in this handset. Let's move on to the hardware and the performance now. Y9A comes with MediaTek Helio G80 chipset. It's a 12nm chipset, the same chipset that Redmi has used in its Redmi 9. It uses the Mali G52MC2 GPU. Now this same configuration is being offered by Redmi in $160 and Huawei is offering it in $240. Obviously Huawei's phone has some other nice features too, but I'll get to that in a while. The phone has an 8GB RAM and 128GB of internal storage. This is UFS 2.1 standard. First of all, I ran the Antutu benchmark on this phone and it clocked a score of 162K. The score is already about 36K less than that of the Redmi 9. I also ran the 3D Mark gaming benchmark on this phone and the results are on your screen. This is the first time that I am including a 3D Mark result in a review and many of you will definitely find it useful. I did try the PUBG Mobile on this phone, played it with smooth ultra settings and I did not quite like the graphics. The Nova 7i offers much better PUBG Mobile graphics than this phone. These graphics are acceptable, only the details and overall color composition doesn't look very great. The game, however, does not lag, it runs very smooth. There is only one bottom firing speaker and that is not loud at all. Here is the speaker test for all of you. And let us take a look at the cameras now. Brace yourselves. Things are about to get pretty serious here. Y9A's main camera is a 64 megapixel sensor. Remaining camera details are on your screen. I am not sure which camera sensor is this, but this is probably Huawei's in-house sensor. Okay, now the camera app. It is the basic Huawei camera app with nothing new, but as I show you the camera app's options, you will see that there is no portrait mode in this phone. How do we get the background blur then? Well, I don't know, maybe the aperture mode will help with that, but if you know how that is going to work, do let me know as well. There is no slow motion or super slow motion in this phone either. The 64 megapixels mode is there in the form of high-res mode. By default, the phone takes 16 megapixels images. Existence of 64 megapixels or high-res mode far away from the main camera options just tells us how useless this mode is, and you will also see that in the camera samples. The Pro mode offers the basic Pro mode options only. For videos you get 1080p at 30 frames per second at max. No OIS or EIS is involved here. Camera result is on your screen now. There is no such huge difference between 64 megapixels high res and the normal mode images. Sometimes this camera can overexpose the images and the dynamic range is not very good. Front camera captures very nice selfies, but here the details could be better. Skin tone also looks fine for the front camera. This phone does have a night mode which works with the rear camera only, and this is how the non-night mode versus the night mode images look. Do share your thoughts about this phone's camera in the comments below. Now there is a 4200 mAh battery inside the Y9A. This battery should last easily for a day on normal usage. To charge it, you get a 40 watt fast charging brick, which we also saw with the Nova 7i. And that now brings us to the conclusion. Huawei also launched the Nova 7i recently, a phone in my opinion with a more powerful spec sheet and a price lower than the Y9A. It is very hard for me to understand why the Y9A first of all has a price higher than the Nova 7i. If this is because of its 64 megapixels camera, then it is ridiculous. For the price tag of nearly $260, you are getting a phone with a pop-up front camera without the features like super slow-mo or the slow-mo or even portrait. And yeah, the Play services are never going to be there on the Huawei phones. So the Y9A to me would make sense only if it had a price tag of about $180 or $185. Before considering the Y9A, you can take a look at the Redmi Note 9 Pro or the Note 9S. Both are better overall phones, but if you still want to pick up the Y9A, that has to be your own choice. With that said, I will sign off and see you all in the next video.